attained the parinirvana, when Buddha died, in our worldly terms we say when he died, the grieving monks assembled at his funeral in the final gathering, anxious as to how they would bear the loss and separation from him. Buddha said, whether my body remains or I pass away, it will be the same. It doesn't make any difference, because even then my dharmakaya, myself, which is I attained by dharma, by following the dharma, my dharmakaya, dharma self, my dharma with what I have preached to you will continue to remain in this world. It doesn't matter whether I personally leave or I go away from here. Then the years following the death of Buddha saw the emergence of many monasteries, many movements during the next 400 years. For the next 400 years after Buddha, we find every disciple who wanted to preach Buddha as per his own versions, and they started their own schools. And how these things happened, I will be telling you in my subsequent lectures. After the death of Buddha, the Buddhist Sanghas, the monastic community, remained centered in the Ganges Valley. In the Ganges Valley portion of India, spreading gradually from its ancient heartland. The ancient heartland was from Lumbini to Sarnath to Lumbini to Bodh Gaya to Sarnath, and then subsequently it started spreading all over the Ganges plain. The canonical sources record, all the traditional sources record various councils, various meetings, whether it is the meeting by the Sangha, what are the recitations organized by many people, and Buddha's teachings, and some disciplinary action to be taken for the monks who are not following that. So all these things happened despite historians' reservations. Like no historians agree that such a thing might have happened. No, there is no evidence of it. But the traditions record that these things happened. Despite historians' reservations, traditions speak about the first Buddhist council to have been held just after Buddha's parinirvana, presided by a senior monk, senior disciple, Mahakasyap, at Rajgiri, Rajagriha, which is presently Rajgiri, with the support of King Ajatasattu of Mauryan dynasty. Though historians do not agree to such a claim, but the traditions record that there was a council in which the people, the monks assembled there, they wanted to decide what course of action they would take because the Buddha was no more there. Now, though the historians do not agree to any council to have been held immediately after Buddha's parinirvana, but the traditions record it, and if we go by traditions, we see that there was a continuous flow of teaching of Buddha even after Buddha's demise. But however, if we stick to our historical point of view, it was in 3rd century BC, Buddhism got an impetus and the religion started spreading across the world because of the zealous propagation of the religion by a great king, great emperor of Mauryan dynasty whose name was Ashoka. Even if the traditions say so many things, historically we come to know that in 3rd century BC, when Ashoka was the ruler, Ashoka was the emperor of Mauryan dynasty, he was instrumental in the spread of religion, spread of Buddhism to all parts of the world, and including that of India. Ashoka was an Indian emperor of Mauryan dynasty who ruled over almost the entire Indian subcontinent from 268 to 232 BC. But these dates, no two historians agree to these dates, but the general consensus is that maybe Ashoka was ruling during this time, and Ashoka, after becoming the ruler, wanted to conquer one kingdom which was not conquered by his predecessors. It was Kalinga, the present day Odisha. It was in 261 BC, Ashoka invaded Kalinga, and Ashoka waged a war against Kalinga. The people of Kalinga were very brave, and they resisted the desire of Ashoka, and in which nearly 100,000 people were killed, and 150,000 people were taken as prisoners. Ashoka took them as prisoners. The devastation and the death moved the emperor Ashoka, and he decided to shun the war, not to wage war, realizing that victory of heart is much better than the victory through war. Ashoka fought the war in Kalinga. The place where he fought the war is still there. It is in the present state of Orissa, and it is in Bhubaneswar, the state capital. Some 10 kilometers away from Bhubaneswar, there is the battlefield where Ashoka fought the war. And in this, so many people, 100,000 people were killed. And there was a river flowing down the place, and it turned into red because of the blood of so many people being killed by Ashoka. And it is not out of place to stay. There is a story goes like this, that when Ashoka became, it is a story, it has nothing to historical or we do not know about it, but a story goes like this, that when Ashoka became the ruler, he could conquer Kalinga, which was a very powerful kingdom that time. Ashoka declared, I became the king, I became the emperor of entire India. Now, anybody who can come to me and ask me anything, I can return to him. I can give it to that. I can give the present to anybody, any gift anybody wants from me. Then an old woman came to Ashoka and asked, can you give me something? King Ashoka said, yes, I can, because I am the emperor. I have everything. I can give you that. Then the lady asked, can you get back my son who was killed by you in this war? Ashoka said, no, I can't, because he is already dead. That lady asked, if you do not have the right to return the thing, why did you take it? You have no right to take the life of a person when you cannot give the life to somebody. That seems to have changed Ashoka's mind. He believed that if I can conquer the heart of the people, I get the real victory, rather than killing the people and getting a piece of geographical location and getting some territory. It is therefore pertinent to throw light on Ashoka to understand the spread of Buddhism in India and beyond. This is the reason why we need to know a little bit about Ashoka and what he did for Buddhism and how Buddhism became a world religion. Then let me talk to you about Buddhism. Ashoka. The spread of Buddhism. The spread of Buddhism and the role of Ashoka. After witnessing the devastation, after witnessing the mass killing and mass destruction, Ashoka has a change of heart. Ashoka's empire stretched from Afghanistan to Bengal and up to the southern India. Of course, the last strip of southern India was not there. So in the map which is there, you can see, everybody can see the map. That is the extent of Ashokan empire sometime in 250 BC. While the early part of Ashoka's reign was apparently quite bloodthirsty, because it is believed that Ashoka killed all his brothers to become the king. He became the follower of Buddha only after the war of Kalinga, only after the conquest of Kalinga on the eastern coast in India, in the present day state in Odisha. Now, what Ashoka did, we come to know about Ashoka from different edicts, different inscriptions, different places he has written on the stones, on the pillars, it is engraved. So that is the most important piece of information we have now to know or to reconstruct the history of Ashoka in India. Rock Edict 13 of Ashoka expresses the great remorse, what he felt about that. This is a Rock Edict 13, gives you the feeling of the king after observing the destruction of Kalinga. Then Kalinga was annexed to Ashoka's protection of law of piety. After getting Kalinga, Ashoka said, now there will be no bloodshed, and Ashoka left the war forever. This is the first king in the history of the world that after winning a powerful enemy and after becoming a king of a powerful kingdom, the king renounces the war. That was what Ashoka did. Ashoka never fought any war again. This was the first and the last war Ashoka fought, and henceforth Ashoka started spreading the law of piety, his love for that law. Law of piety means kindness, and according to the Dhamma, and he appointed officials to see that all these dhammas are being propagated, all these dhammas are being told to the people and people to follow it. Ashoka can be said as the architect for the spread of Buddhism. Ashoka's personal religion became Buddhism. We do not know what was his religion before Kalingan War, but after Kalingan War, it is certain that his religion was Buddhism. He propagated Dhamma officially, and under his patronage, expansion of Buddhism happened in entire Mauryan Empire and other kingdoms during his rule. By the year 250 BC, Buddhism had already become a world religion. He sent his son Mahendra and daughter Sanghamitra to Sri Lanka, present-day Sri Lanka, and they established Buddhism there. Ashoka ruled for an estimated period of 36 years or 40 years and died sometime in 232 BC, though this date is not agreed upon by everybody. After his death, Mauryan dynasty, Mauryan empire disintegrated, and within the 50 years, his empire, which stretched over almost all the Indian subcontinent, became small territories. And the Ashokan records, whatever the edicts, whatever the inscriptions we get, it records in the form of sculptured pillars and rocks with a variety of actions, what he did when he was ruling, what he was doing for the Dhamma, everything, the teachings of Buddha, and whatever he meant about the teachings, and he has put it in all the records, all the inscriptions, all the pillar edicts and the rock edicts. And it was written in Prakrit language, which is the local language at that time, and also in the Brahmi script. Many of the northwest provinces northwest territories of Ashoka. It is modern day Afghanistan and northern Pakistan, and then it passed on to the Indo-Greek kings, the Greek kings, and all these areas Ashoka was ruling, and in every places we find the inscriptions of Ashoka from those places. That gives us an information about what Ashoka did for the spread of religion in different parts of the world. So we will be talking about all these things in our next video, and I wish to acknowledge the help from all the authors, and I acknowledge the taking of the pictures of some of the photographers from the net, because it is for an educational purpose, nothing to do with commercial. So I have to acknowledge to them that I got the help, and I thank them for this. Thank you.